Hello, it's Delia. Thanks for clicking on. So today we're going to talk a little bit about programmability versus seniority. And what do I mean by that? So considering the times that we're in, it's so much more crucial now than it was even a year ago that everybody has a way to use your own system of checks and balances to see what's really real or true for you and what isn't. And a big part of that is the ideas of programmability and seniority. So this is all under the umbrella of your regaining your sovereignty. And to do that, there are things that need to be done every day, all the time, right? Programmability is, think about a time when you were really in a lot of pain or a lot of anxiety, and you were really looking for, the silver bullet, the straight answer that was going to make everything better. So if you can recall that time and you can remember what it was like listening, like whether it was a counselor or a friend or someone you trusted or a complete stranger, or when you went to get a psychic reading or therapy. In any of those situations where there's a certain amount of reason to believe the person that you're engaged with, you trust them for some reason, they have credibility for some reason, you can notice that you're like a wide open sponge, just waiting to be told what to do or how to feel about something or what something means. And we've all been there. You need to be able to tell for yourself, is what you're taking in for your greater good. So this isn't like truth or lie or good people or bad people or any of that, although there's an element of all of that. But the important thing is that if you can determine what's real and true for you, especially in those situations where you really need an answer, right? So the emotional desperation is really high, and generally what goes along with that is your faith in yourself is really low. You feel a really huge lack of accurate information or the ability to make a good decision based on what the circumstances that you're in. These are all representative of a lack of confidence in oneself. And it makes sense because the self, in general terminology, is the little body personality self. It doesn't really, as a general rule in conventional conversations, we're not really including your greater self, your infinite awareness self. Which, if you did include that in your thinking, things would go easier because you would understand, you would have an experience more than understanding. You would have the experience of not being alone and your body personality having the support of your infinite self. So in the absence of having that personal relationship with your higher self and that experiential knowledge that you, higher you, capital Y, have your smaller you, body personalities back, which is how we're meant to operate. So seeking out information when you're in a state of desperation usually makes you're going to believe almost anything that makes you feel better in the moment. And that's not necessarily for your greater good. It may be, but it may not necessarily. So if you have a method to verify for yourself, is this for my greatest good? Is this true for me? Is this an accurate read of the situation if in this moment for me? Then you're actually, it's a very adult thing to do. It's the kind of thing that somebody with seniority over the panic is able to do. So anything that helps you remember that you're an infinite being with a body and a personality and living in the physical world is very much to your advantage. So the tool that I talked about the most, that is, the more you use it, the more multifaceted it gets, is the water and paint thinner, or light or heavy. What else do I call it? Light or dark. So the way this technique works is, we'll just go ahead and close your eyes and take a couple of nice deep breaths, comfortable breaths, and just kind of center more and more into your body. And call back all aspects of yourself, the parts that you know about as well as the parts that you don't know about. Just ask all of you to come and be right here, right now, with your sweet body. You may notice a shift in your body. You may notice an exhale. You may notice your shoulders relax. The more you are occupying you, the less room there is for other energies or entities to be in your system. All right, so now let's do this. Let's begin at the beginning. So just say to yourself, truth, my name is, and say whatever your name is, and ask your body for a sensation to validate that. Usually it's going to be bright or light or expansive or some kind of feeling good, often somewhere in your torso. So truth, my name is, say your name, and then get the sensation. Okay. And now say, truth, my name is, and say something that your name is not. And ask your body to give a sensation in response. Light or heavy, water or paint thinner. Yes or no. So for yes, it's always light, bright, and expansive. And no is always closing in or contracting or dark or heavy or thick. And this is how your system can give you your yes or no in any situation. So when you're asking, is this true for me? You can say, truth, is this true for me? And you can be clear about what the it is. Is this whatever the this is. And you may get a really clear yes. You may get a really clear no. You may get a little of both. And when you get a little yes and a little no, that's the time to ask more questions. So let's say you just asked, is it right for you to go to Paris in November? And then you get a mixed answer, a little yes, a little no. Then you can ask smaller pieces. So, truth, is it right for you to go to Paris? And you wait for, you ask for the yes or the no, the light or the heavy, the water or the paint thinner. And then you can ask, so truth, should I be going to Paris in November? Is November the time to go? So you see, you can break any question down into pieces and use the water and paint thinner for each part of the question. And this is a really useful skill. It's a very necessary skill, especially now, whether you're paying attention to the news or any conversations in relationships or anything right now, because of the transformation that's going on globally for on a planetary scale, as well as in the human collective. It's really important that you're able to find out what's true for you and to parse out, because there can be a part that is true for you and a part that is not true for you. So this is how you can navigate in these changing, tumultuous times where there is so much misinformation and it's not in one column, and the good information is in one column and the bad information is in the other. It's all kind of stirred together. So the better you are at water and paint thinner and being able to read what the answer is, water or paint thinner, expansion or contraction, for yourself in that moment, the more you're able to have seniority over all the other information and know what's true and right for you in that moment. Now, there's, like I said, there's so much misinformation mixed in with accurate information. So being able to get a sense as you're reading something, what should you pay attention to and what can you ignore? And to be able to do that pretty fast and easily is very helpful to being able to sort, discern, or cull good information out of, the stream of blah, blah, blah that keeps coming out of everything. And knowing what's true for you in any given moment is how you're able to navigate in a way that supports your growth, your flourishing, your sanity, and you're being able to take your next steps. So when you get a clear light and bright, you can do that. And the more you use this question of, truth, light, or dark, the more you're building the muscle of being able to use this for your advantage to tell you what's going on for you when things are tumultuous or highly emotional or highly charged. It's very difficult to read the energy or read something for yourself when you are highly charged or highly invested in the question and the answer. And this is a normal thing that humans do, that humans go through. So you don't need to be making yourself wrong for being in a highly charged situation. it's just really good to have something to do on your behalf in those situations. And the more you use the light and heavy in smaller situations and lighter information situations that have less heat to them, the stronger that muscle gets, so that when there is something really big, you have that information system available to you. And the important thing about where does the light and the dark come from? Where does the contraction or the expansion come from? Where is the information coming from? And it's coming from your higher self. And your higher self is using the sensations of your body, because your body has a lot of wisdom and operates completely with your infinite self all the time. Not so much through your thinking and the analyzer. That has a whole different story about a body, which is usually conventional information, which then means it's inaccurate. So when you're using light and heavy, you're getting what your highest self has to say for you. And it's guidance from your highest self, which is absolutely, completely on your side. Created this body for you, this lifetime is with you 24/7. Even if you have a belief system that excludes it, it's still on your side. And this use of water and paint thinner is the way to access the information from your higher self, the guidance from your higher self about whatever you're asking about. And there's nothing too big or too small to ask about. Your higher self is very much invested in every aspect of your life and your flourishing and your healing and your thriving. So using water paint thinner or light and heavy or expansion contraction is the most expedient way to access your higher self for the benefit of your day-to-day matters in any situation. It's part of your internal spiritual guidance system. And the more you can use it, like I said, in taking in information about the world or about the political situations, helps. Your analyzer can't really parse, which is nothing against your analyzer. I'm sure you're very, very smart, but it's so invested in the system that it has no neutrality. Whereas your infinite self is not invested in the system and can give you true information that you can rely on and that you can follow as good guidance. So the more you do the practice, like you go to the refrigerator or to the grocery store and you pick up something to eat for lunch and you just ask, so truth, water, paint thinner, is this the best thing for me to eat right now? And whatever answer you get, pick up something else and ask the same question about that, as you're beginning to get used to using this tool, which is an incredibly powerful tool. It's also very simple. Now, if you do the test question about your name and it comes out backwards, there's a remedy for that too. And the remedy for that is to repeat at least 10 or 20 times. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. You just keep saying that over and over and over again until you start to feel something move in your body. You'll notice some shifting starting to happen, some maybe burping or yawning. Maybe you notice that suddenly you can breathe better, or that your shoulders come down out of your ears. So there's just any number of physical responses as you repeat that phrase over and over again, and it kind of like clears the channel. And then after you felt a nice shift in your body, it might be subtle at the beginning because you're not really used to paying attention in this way, but will probably notice something. And then ask the question again. So, truth, my name is whatever your name is, and wait for that sensation of yes or no. And then, truth, my name is whatever your name is not. And again, wait for that sensation. And the two should be straightened out by then. So, I hope you start to use this water and paint thinner practice and start to notice how it works for you. And I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section. Being able to tell yourself the truth and being able to know what's going on is really important. And it's just going to become more so in the coming weeks and months as this worldwide transition happens throughout all humanity. All right. Thanks for being here.